Someone commented on a live where I was talking about gangstalking. They asked if it has happened to other people that when a baby sees them, they stare at them. Doesn't matter what they're doing. A baby could be eating, but when they see you, they stare at you and they stop eating. The baby could be crying. When they see you, they'll stare at you. They'll stop crying. I used to tell my sister that babies stare at me. Whenever a baby sees me, they stare at me. And she'll just laugh and no, just thought, nah, it's something that happens to people, right? Like, of course, it's something like there's a logical explanation for that. Until one day, one of our neighbors back at home brought her baby because she wanted to go somewhere. So she wanted my sister to take care of the baby. And because the baby didn't know my sister, he started crying. My sister didn't know what to do. The baby would cry and cry and cry. She would try everything. The baby would be crying. I remember I wanted something from her, so I knocked at the door and she opened. When I entered, the baby stopped crying. The baby just looked at me like this. And I was like, what's going on? Why was the baby crying? She's like, I don't know. I left and closed the door. The baby started crying again. I entered, the baby stopped crying and stared at me. And I was like, what's going on? And I was like, yo, you remember what I told you? You remember what I told you? I took the baby from her and held him like this. Stop crying. Went outside with him. Got back. Gave the baby to my sister. The baby started crying again. The baby didn't act like he wanted me to hold him, but he stopped crying. Because when a baby wants you to hold them, if you do this, they will show you that they also want you to hold. So I wouldn't say the baby wanted me to hold him because the baby wanted me to hold him because he felt comfortable. It's weird because this is something that happens all the time. Like every time when it happens, even the parents or the baby would laugh. Like, what's going on? Like the baby will in a taxi. The baby, this happens a lot when I'm in a taxi. Once a baby sees me, they will be staring at me like 100%, almost as if they are in shock that they are seeing me, almost as if they want to say something. It's like if you seen it happening in real life, you would be surprised. Like, and I'm not exaggerating at all. This is something that happens all the time. At first, I just thought I look weird. Like, maybe I look weird. If a baby hasn't seen someone like me, maybe, you know what I mean? But I don't know if I look that weird. I mean, okay, now I wear shades or my prescription glasses, so maybe, but even when I removed them, I remember we did this experiment to, like, after my nephew was born, when he was still a baby, he would stare at me. It's like he would stare at me like crazy. The same thing that would happen with other babies will happen with my nephew. He would stare at me and not, I remember my other sister, my youngest sister, not the sister that I was telling you about. My youngest sister, she's the one. She's the one who has a baby. She'll do this. My nephew is staring at me. She'll be like, "Oh, that mommy probably thought I was." Because I gotta start exploring my options now, So when I was doing this, she thought I was like, waving at her. Alright. Yeah, but she'll do this. And my nephew will keep staring at me. Sometimes she'll try to turn his head and he'll be like, stare at me. And then I will move to another side and he'll be staring at me. Nah, man, I can't be that weird. It's like strangers will come My nephew didn't stare at them. Only stare at me. So I'm not exaggerating. I'm telling you something that is true. Something that happens to me. Something that I still do not understand, and it happens all the time. Not 90, like, dude, all the time. When a baby between the age of like 1 and 3 sees me, they stare at me. A baby that cannot talk, yeah. But even the babies that can talk sometimes, like as they get older, yeah, that's when some of them do not stare at me, you know. But when they're still young, they do not talk, they will stare at me, and their parents will be surprised what is actually going on. And I don't even like babies. I don't hate them, but I don't want to play with babies. Like, I don't want to hold a baby. I don't know what to do when holding a baby. I remember where I was staying previously. This lady, because she noticed that the baby kept on looking at me, she wanted me to hold him. Like, no, I don't want to hold a baby. They had to force me at home to hold my nephew. They had to force me to hold my nephew. Like, nah, I don't. But I think I might have an explanation for this. I think I might have an explanation. You tell me what you think. Like I've been telling you that I've people, wherever I go, they get to pay too much attention to me, even when it seems like they're not. Because when they are asked about me, they're able to describe me very well and also tell people what I do. And you'll be like, okay, but that person didn't seem like they were paying attention to me, Maybe, like my friend maybe talks to someone who maybe works at a shop, and maybe asks them if they know me. Like, oh, do you know this person? Like, yeah. This person, we know when he comes here, he does this, he does. I'm like, I haven't even seen you looking at me. It's always been like that. I don't feel like I'm being watched. I know I'm being watched because people pay too much attention to me, even when it seems like they're not. They get to know things about me, things that they shouldn't even know if they're not paying attention, because like, it's just minor details. They'll pick up things that only people who are paying too much attention to you will pick up. So my life has always been like that. People would know me, even recognize me. Maybe a stranger approaches me and be like, yo man, how you doing? And then they talk to me as if they know me. I'm like, okay, what's going on? I'll be asking myself, and then they introduce themselves like, yo man, yeah, I know you, I've seen you, hola. So, like, I've seen you many times before, you like doing this, you like doing that, I've seen you working with this person, blah, 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 but like, damn, that's crazy. What if, because babies are still young, what if before babies are born, there are certain people that they are shown? Because when you're still a baby, of course, you kind of like remember your past lives. I think that's how it would work. Like, you still kind of have memories of your past life. So what if before babies are born, they are shown some people that they will need to, that will be their target somehow? Or maybe because they have not learned, and this is very important what I'm about to tell you, they have not learned to pretend, because babies are honest. So they just stare at you just like everyone else does, but everyone else is not, they don't want to show you that they're staring at you. They don't want to show you that they're paying attention to you. But babies they pay attention to you because they can't lie, you know? What if that's the truth? Because if I tell you my stories, you know, of people knowing me, people recognizing me, you'll be really surprised. You'll be really, really, really surprised. I mean, I know I have face blindness. Sometimes I do meet people and forget that I met them. I remember 2 weeks back, um, um, I came across these two ladies. They were talking about something, and I was like, I made a joke. I was like, yeah, actually, you know, this. I actually want to learn a lot about what you're talking about. And then we started talking. I was like, yo, you stay around here. And the lady was like, I know you. I stay around here and I know you. It's like, where do you know me from? And she told me where we met. And I remembered. It was like, wow, that's interesting. The fact that you remember and I don't remember you at all, like, that's interesting. Maybe I'll meet her again and not even remember her. And like, I have face blindness. It's not easy for me to recognize a face. But also just because I don't really pay too much attention, right? Like, I don't pay too much attention to people. Like, if I meet a person, I'm not gonna look at their shoes, you know, the color of the shirt that they are wearing, their hairstyle. I'm not gonna notice any of that. You know, I'm an energy person. Like, when I'm interacting with you, it's like I'm talking to your soul. It's like I don't care about your physical body. So I easily forget faces, height. Yeah, like it's like can't even explain it. It's weird, but I've noticed that people, you know, a lot of people will be able to remember what a person was wearing. But like, yo, you were wearing this on this day, you know. But you find that you don't remember what they were wearing at all. So what if babies, because they're honest, they stare at you because before they were born, they were showing your face. So when they see you, they're like, okay, you know, like in the Truman Show, like when the baby, you remember when Truman got inside a bus and the baby saw him, and he asked his mom, he was like, "Mom, isn't that?" And then her mom was like, "Pew." She hit her hand. You know, because she's surprised, like, oh, no. I've seen this guy on TV before, so isn't. But his mom had to shut her up quickly. I mean, we need to ask ourselves this question: is everyone what we think they are? You mean to tell me? And let's be honest, guys. Like, we're told there's like 7 billion humans. You mean to tell me that every human that you interact with is what you think they are? Like, it's a real human. Yeah, like you. I don't mean, I don't want to sound bad, because remember, we're trying to figure out what reality is. You know, someone can misunderstand what I'm saying, but like, oh yeah, he's saying that, you know, some humans are not human and what he's saying is toxic. Like, no, we don't know what's going on, so we're working together. We're philosophizing. You see, I don't want to be absolutely certain about the things that I'm saying. I just want to philosophize. You know, you realize, look, I can make videos where I sound very certain about what I'm saying, like most people do here on YouTube, but I don't want to act as if I know what the heck is going on. I want to philosophize about what I'm seeing to see what really makes sense. So I'm asking you that, does it feel like every human being is real? So there's 7-8 billion humans here. All of them are real. And they are all just like you. They don't know what's going on. They were born naive, and they're growing. They grew and they're living their lives, and that's the story. Or they might be gang stalkers, or might actually have handlers. But there are people who come into your life just to get information about you, just to watch you because they will be close to you, right? So they are able to see your every move. You know, you have people who keep on asking you questions about what's going on in your life, to a point that you actually feel uncomfortable. Like, damn, why do you gotta know? Why do you gotta know so much about me? Like, why are you so interested in my business? I mean, I've never been asking you questions about your business. You just tell me what you want to tell me. But you asking too many questions, and you. It seems like I can't get rid of you, right? It seems like I can't get rid of you, and you're very patient. It's like, even if I'm not in a good mood, you can see that I'm not in a good mood to be with people, you know, like you can't tell. It's like someone sent you and they told you that you must be with me for like 3 hours, and you must stay with me for 3 hours, even if you can see that I'm not in a good mood. Why wouldn't we have handlers in this kind of matrix? You can see that we live in a world of deception, and obviously there are a lot of things that are being done to us as conscious beings, that we do not want, you know, these things done to us. Like, you can see the way that the world works. It's we're not in a place where things are working out well for conscious beings. You know, we can see that we're being manipulated in many different ways. So wouldn't sending handlers to come and get some information about us be the best way to study us? You know, you meet some girl, she becomes yours. Find that her job is to get inside your head, to test you, maybe see how you respond to things, to get some information about you, about your dreams, what's your plan. She gets you to trust her, and you start to share your deepest secrets with her, and she gets to know what you think. Because I don't think they know what we think. I don't think in this matrix, I think they can. It's easier for the rulers of this world to see what we're doing, but it's not easy for them to know what we're thinking. Once we get too comfortable with people, we share everything with them. We share them with them our deepest thoughts. So they get to know us. They're able to predict our next move. Like, oh, this is how this guy thinks. With this kind of people, we just have to treat them this way. We will be able to keep them under control if we treat them this way. It's very hard for me to believe that each and every person that I interact with is conscious. Like, there are no soulless beings, there are no NPCs. And some people really do behave like NPCs. You ask them questions, they respond. They respond as if there can't be any other possible answers to the question that you asked. And if you try to make them see things from different perspectives, they never understand. You're like, come on, man, but this is very simple to see. I remember I told you in one of my videos that I published maybe 2-3 weeks ago. I said, if we couldn't prove that 1 + 1 is 2, there will be people who will debate that. Like, no, 1 + 1 is not 2. 1 + 1 is 8. Some will be like, 1 + 1 is 5. But because we can prove that 1 + 1 is 2, no one is debating that. So if you say something that's truthful, something that that even if a person is not very intelligent, they should be able to see that it's true because of how you explain it to them, but they still don't get it. And you you become desperate. You're like, damn, I gotta make them understand. They still don't get it. Chances are you're dealing with an NPC. I don't think that I'm able to think rationally because I'm smart. I do think I'm smart, but I think people who are real, like signs, a sign, like maybe the biggest sign that a person is real is their ability to think rationally. Because an NPC wouldn't think rationally. They will only think what they were programmed to think. Right? They will only think what they were programmed to think. So they couldn't think new thoughts. So if you, like, I remember I watched this other video. What's the name of this guy? I think his name was Vegan Skeptic. He was debating with artificial intelligence. Like, you get to a point where you see that it's kind of like it's artificial intelligence. It's intelligent, but it doesn't really have the intelligence of a human. Like, humans have wisdom, right? So artificial intelligence is intelligent, but it doesn't have the wisdom of a human. Like, that's the difference. It doesn't have the wisdom of a human. So those who lack wisdom, like, you're communicating with them, you see that these people do not have wisdom. You might think, they're just dumb, but you find that they're able to do some things very, very well. Things that are very hard to do very, very well. You see that, no, they're not dumb. There are just some things that they're not programmed to understand. You see, their job is to be a certain way, so they cannot abandon their role. You see, they can't break character. They only have to behave in a way that they were programmed to behave. They only have to understand the things that they were programmed to understand. They only agree with things that they were programmed to agree with. So it won't matter how right you are. It could be beyond obvious that you are right, but they still don't get that you're right. You see? I'd say that's how you spot a non-player character. That's how you spot a soulless being. You cannot tell me that people are that ignorant, No. So what if we are being gang stalked by NPCs or by people who are conscious but not that conscious? That's why they wouldn't mind, stalking you. Maybe they don't even know that they are stalking you. But there are some beings that are able to get information from them about you. So they are sent to stalk you. They are supposed to be obsessed with you somehow. They're supposed to know things about you. And these beings are able to get information through them. So there are some people who even believe that birds people believe that birds are drones. Look, we always have to ask ourselves questions, Like, we always have to ask ourselves questions. We shouldn't just believe that the world is what it seems, because obviously it's not. We have dreamt before and we thought that we were in a world that is actually real until we woke up and realized that it wasn't. So obviously there are a lot of things that are happening that we do not understand, and we just think, they're just happening, but you find that there's so much to what is actually happening. Reality doesn't really feel that real. Like it's something that's just happening on its own randomly. It doesn't really feel like that. When you think deeply about it, you realize that it feels as if there is a force that is actually in control of things. There's a force that is actually controlling people. It even feels like there are some people who actually know some things. If aliens were here, don't you think they'll be able to shapeshift and look like me and you, while they're actually aliens, and study us the way that they want to study us, or get loose from us the way that they want to get loose from us? You find that they are in your life to make things more hellish for you, but You don't see that. You see, they're so damn manipulative. They're there to make you make bad decisions. They manipulate people around you so that things don't work out for you. You know, your relationships do not work out. Someone said something very interesting the other day. Like, yo, man, have you noticed that if you get like a honey, you get a honey and you tell your friends about it, it doesn't, like, you and that honey do not work out, like you do not go anywhere. So you could meet a beautiful honey and you guys exchange numbers and you start talking, and then you tell your bros like, yo man, I got this new chick, you know, blah blah, and then boom, you all of a sudden the conversations are flat now, you know, like she's losing interest. Like, what? But if you keep it a secret, they just find out later when you are actually dating that you're dating. That's when it usually works, right? I don't know. Like, I've seen it happen like that so many times in my own life. You know, when you tell people things like, yo, I'm about to receive this amount of money today from this person. You don't receive it. Yeah, this is like, you know what I mean? Almost as if they are there to block your blessings, or they are there to ensure that they get loose from you. So when they know you're expecting some things, like, yo, one of the best ways to get loose from this person is if they expect something to happen, something good to happen, and we don't allow it to happen. We are in a strange world, and there are a lot of things that are happening that if we pay too much attention to these things, it actually makes sense to think we are not dealing with people who are like us all the time. Sometimes we are dealing with NPCs, and it seems to me that NPCs are mainly compared to soulless beings. I mean, compared to beings with souls. Compared to those who are self-aware. And it should be like that, right? For this to work, it should be like that. Because if there's many people who are conscious in this world, they will change the world. Like, it's about numbers. You know, it's always been about numbers. That's why people who get into power are people who are voted for. It's numbers. So if there were many people who are conscious, they would vote for the right people and put them in power. Don't you think so? But if there are NPCs that are controlled by the matrix, and we think, yeah, it's about numbers, you know, it's about how many people vote, it means we will never win, because we think it always has to be about numbers, right? But like, yeah, 70% people voted for this person, so yeah, they won. But you find that most of the people who voted were NPCs. They were not even real. Just like we're told that sometimes online music platforms do fake the streams of the artists that they pick. I mean, they can easily. But like, oh, Drake, he just dropped a song and it has 10 million views. But you find that maybe only 2 million people actually listen to the song. Look at how many likes this song had. Fake social media accounts, fake Twitter accounts. If we can have fake social media accounts, if they can fake the streams, don't you think that they can fake the votes, make NPCs vote, and then it looks like, some people won even if they didn't? Think about it. So that girl was standing here with the laptop and she wanted to throw it down. Let me show you Wait. This thing doesn't turn the way that it used to anymore. Like you just have to press like a button twice and it will turn. But now I have to like rotate it as if I'm rotating it manually. But yeah, she was standing here with it. Like when I was down looking up, I saw her standing here. And I was like, shit. And she's holding my laptop. I was like, dang. It was yesterday she kept on apologizing. And because of that, I was like, you know what, let me ask her about my glasses. She's like, I don't know. I said, what happened to my shades and my prescription glasses? She's like, I don't know. I'm not at home. I'll ask my sisters. Maybe I took them by accident because I was afraid of the cops. Like, how does that happen? How can it happen that she takes something like that by accident? You know what I mean? It's not like she has glasses. It's not like she uses glasses. So I told her that she must give me a sister's number so that I will communicate with her, and so that she will, send them as a package. Yeah, like use Uber to send them as a package. She doesn't seem to be interested in that. So I don't know. She knows I need them. Like when I'm indoors, my eyes hurt because I can't be wearing shades. At least when I'm outside, because I bought new shades. It's all good. It's weird. But in this realm, it really does seem like there's something weird that is going on. Things are not what they seem. That's why we need to be careful. Like, wherever you go, you keep that in mind, that things might not be what they seem. There's probably something that is going on behind the scenes that you're not aware of. And you're just living your life thinking that this world is normal, right? Things are happening the way that, they seem to be happening, Things are just happening randomly. You believe in cause and effect, right? I mean, yes, we don't have free will, but what do I even mean? Like, for an example, let's say you decide to go out and you meet someone and you and that person become friends. It will be cause and effect, right? But what if it's not really like that? What if things are planned before they happen? What if things are predetermined? What if some people get sent to our lives and you just think, oh, it's cause and effect? You meet this person and you guys just click and you're like, yeah, I decided to go to this place. But you find that, yes, of course you did decide, but that person got sent to that place. Like they knew, like the higher ups or whoever's running this shit knew that you were going to that place, and they knew what you were going to get, and they knew how they can make you connect with that person. It's actually weird how relationships end sometimes. It's actually weird. You're like, man, this person used to click and now we don't click anymore. What's going on? Like, what happened? What if that only happens because their job in your life, the job in your life is finished? They come into your life, stay in your life, you can't get rid of them. But when their time is up, when they got what they wanted, they leave. You see? I'm telling you, man, there are some people who come into your life, like you'd see that this person is just forcing things. It's forcing the connection. Like you guys are friends now, blah, blah, you can hang out now. You know what I mean? And they're very, very patient. I'm telling you, this world is not what you think. Something weird is happening to sentient beings. So we always have to keep our eyes open. I think the stories that I'm telling you about babies staring at me, I think these stories should, you know, help us wake up and start seeing how reality might actually be. You can't tell me that people are just that ignorant, and that's the reason why we don't understand one another. That's the reason why we are unable to create a better world, a world that actually makes sense. People are just ignorant. That's why we're unable to create a world that makes sense. What if some are just NPCs, some are just soulless beings, some are gang stalkers? What if there's only few people who are actually conscious? What if we're being studied? What if we are prisoners here? What if things ain't what they seem? What if we've always been told lies about our origin, about reality, about who or what we are? And we just believe, what they told us, because what else were we supposed to believe? If you don't have any memories of your past lives, you don't know anything about yourself, you believe what people will tell you, right? Especially people who are in power. Isn't it weird to you that we live in a world where children are taught the same things, no matter how different they are? They're taught the same things. The way that they measure intelligence, I've always felt like it was weird how people think that they can measure someone's IQ. Like if they give you problems to solve and you solve those problems, like, yeah, you have the highest IQ, you're smart, you should be respected. What you say, people must believe because you're smart, because you scored. Like, no, you cannot really measure intelligence. There are a lot of people who can solve very complex math problems, but they are but they're dumb as fuck. Like, they can solve really complex math problems. So you cannot really measure intelligence like that. So isn't it weird that they'll put you in a classroom and teach you the same things, and those who pass, they are more intelligent than those who fail? And these things that you're being taught, you're supposed, you see, they're making you compete with other kids. So if you don't understand these things, you must try your best to understand these things. Even if it's BS, even if you're like, but this is BS, but because they're making you compete with other kids, you're supposed to perform well. You're supposed to, like, it's like a competition. It's like, how do I put it? There's this, what is it? This game called? I forgot what this game is called, but they take bottle caps and put something inside bottle caps, like 2 bottle caps, and put something inside one of the bottle cap, and then they'll move these bottle caps around, and they ask you, where is it? Where is that thing? And then you point to where it is, and then they open. If it's there, you win money. They play these games here in South Africa. They play this game. I think they play these games all over the world. So you find that there's a crowd of people with a lot of money who seem to be playing the game, right? They will pop out some money and point to where that thing is not, and you are there. You find that you're the only target, actually, but you don't know that you're the only target. So you are there, and you're surprised how they are not able to see where that thing is. Like, what's going on? How am I not able to see what that thing? How they're not able to see what that thing is? I can see exactly what that thing is. Another person plays and they can't see what the thing is, and you're like, damn, I'm gonna make money here. And then you start to bet. They have a trick of removing like that thing without you seeing it. Like they are masters that they've been practicing for years. So they remove that thing, almost like magicians would like perform like a card trick, and you don't see how they perform that trick. So they remove that thing, when you are playing. So maybe they'll allow you to win a few times, and then you bet with a lot of money, and they remove that thing, and then you find that that thing is not in any of the cat, and then you keep on losing and don't understand how you're losing, and they are all together, and chances are, even if you did win, but of course you wouldn't win, because they are all together, they could still rob your ass. Like they're never going home empty handed. Like, you never win, they always win. Like, that is how they hustle, that's how they make money. And it's surprising that there are still people who are falling for that. Like, how is that even possible? How ignorant can you be to still be falling for that? Because everyone knows in South Africa that the game is fake, it's not real. And on top of everything, people don't seem to be, they seem to be gullible. Like, you don't ask yourself how it works. Like, you don't wait and study it. So sometimes it just feels like we are being forced to act a certain way. Like, they're using peer pressure to make us behave a certain way, right? So even when we're young, going to school, they knew that you wouldn't believe some nonsense. But if they are rewarding the kids that are believing this nonsense, and they are being treated well, going to the next grade, you feel like you also have to believe the same nonsense so that you go to the next grade. You must take the nonsense seriously so that you go to the next grade. Because if you don't take the nonsense seriously, you're not going to the next grade. It doesn't matter what makes sense to you. It doesn't matter how you think. What matters is what they think. We must ask ourselves important questions about this world that we have found ourselves in, instead of being gullible. I'm telling you, man, the more I study life, the more I realize that there is a lot going on. And if you keep your eyes closed, you never see the truth. You'd look at people who think they're gangstalkers here, and you think, yeah, man, they're just crazy. Of course. And what I've realized, because some people who make videos are saying that they're being stalked. When you listen to them, you're like, they're fucking crazy, because you can see that they're paranoid. So sometimes they ridicule an idea by using those who are actually paranoid to make it seem like it's not a valid idea. Like, it's easy to, like, for an example, I've spoken a lot about what Gnosticism, antinatalism. So it's just that they take an internatalist who's just who can, like, really express themselves, and who is very easy to laugh at, and they interview that person. It's gonna look like everyone is like that. Everyone who believes in that idea are just like you know what I mean? Like, they got the best of us while they didn't. So it's kind of like that. Those who believe in flat earth, they'll interview those who just believe that the earth is flat, but they don't have any, like, good reason to even be believing that. They just believe because maybe someone they love believed in flat earth, whatever. But maybe there are some people who can explain to you why it makes sense to believe that the earth is flat, and you listen to them and be like, ish, I don't know, ish. That's why it's very important that we keep on learning to detach ourselves each and every day. Keep on learning to detach ourselves from things, so that we are not affected deeply by the facade. We're not affected deeply by the illusion. Realize that we're not really in control in this realm. There will be some spiritual teachers that will tell you that you're in control, all that. If you're in control, you know. No one needs to preach to you that you're in control, right? You'll just be able to control reality, bend reality to your will. But that's not how it is in this realm, You don't control much, really. And even what you can control doesn't really seem like it's controlled by you, because free will isn't even real. Even free will itself is an illusion. Like, we are victims of causality. A lot of things are wrong in this realm, man. A lot of things are not what they seem in this realm. So we need to study reality. Like, you must make it your mission to study reality, study people, study your own experiences. Don't believe what they want you to believe about life. Just study life yourself. See what is actually true. People will say that you're crazy because, well, the truth has to be crazy, Even in your dreams, if you tell dream characters that it's a dream, they're going to say that you're crazy, even though you're right. So realize that truth is crazy, right? Like, truth is crazy. It's something that's crazy. Reality is not what it seems. That's why someone said truth is actually stranger than fiction, right? You watch these fiction movies and you're like, yeah, that's fiction, but you find that that's actually truth. It's just that you've been programmed to believe in what's normal and just think that that's how the world works. But you find that there are a lot of things that are going on behind the scenes that you're not even aware of, and that you probably will never be aware of if you believe anything that they tell you. You see, instead of using your own brain, analyzing the things that are happening in your own life and coming up with your own conclusions. I understand when you're still young why you need to believe in what your elders be saying, what your teachers be saying. But as you get older, you start to realize, that a lot of what you've been told is BS. But there will still be a part of you that wants to be accepted. You find that a lot of people believe in the BS, and if you say you don't believe in the BS, you get punished by society for that. You see, the same way that you used to be punished at school when you weren't performing well. So even now, when you think your own thoughts, you think rationally, society punishes you. Isn't it weird that when you speak your truth and you are really honest, society punishes you? Maybe if you're in a relationship with a person, that person will leave you. Your friends will leave you. They'll say that you're weird. Your parents, will treat you like you're mentally ill or something. That's how society punishes you, for genuinely seeking truth, for thinking rationally, for asking the right questions. You see, you gotta learn how the matrix works. You gotta learn how the matrix works, so that you are able to set yourself free. There's a lot that's going on, man. I'm telling you. I've been studying reality for a while. Try to see the truth. Try to find confirmation for what I'm seeing. I'm telling you, this world is not what it seems. There are some things that people do that will make you think, only an NPC will do this. Like a conscious person. Because, sometimes we talk about people being different, but nah, man, I think people who are really conscious, they're not that different. I think the problem is that we are dealing with NPCs and they do things that shock us sometimes, and we're surprised. Like, how can a human being do that? No. Dealing with an NPC. Remember, there's this video that I saw on TikTok. It's a video of this guy is on a plane. He looks down and he see houses, and he's like, "You mean to tell me that every person there is alive and they living their own lives?" Like, nah, I refuse to believe that. I used to believe that everyone down there is real. Nah, I refuse to believe that. You should question reality. Question the existence of other people. Question if everyone that you interact with is real. Question if you are real. You must always be asking questions. Thank you for watching until the end. And give this video a like. It helps a lot. Thank you.